So I was recently reading an article that the next wave of homeowners are going to be millennials and Generation Zs. I don't even know what Generation Zs are, but it's young people. It's younger. I don't know, but it's young people. So I want to talk about 3 tips for first-time home buyers because a lot of them will be first-time home buyers. Let's get into that coming up. Welcome, I'm your host, Steve Penate, realtor and host of the Steve Talks Real Estate Show, where we bring you value, content, and tips in all things real estate and housing related. So before I continue, I want to invite you to hit that subscribe button, show me some love on this channel, hit the like button, and share this video with someone you feel needs to know this information. All right, so we are gonna talk to millennials, Generation Zs, and first-time home buyer. You could be in your 50s and this might be your first time buying a house, and that's amazing because home ownership should be the goal regardless of age. And so it excites me to see any time people are out there buying their first house. All right, so a lot comes into play when it comes to buying a house. As a matter of fact, there are so many home buying myths out there, and some of them are really scary. For example, you need 20% for a down payment to buy your house. You need 15%, 10%. The reality is that there are very affordable home loans out there that don't require much for a down payment. So I am gonna give you 3 first buyer tips. Now, to be honest with you, these tips can apply to pretty much anybody, but I am going to be speaking to first-time home buyers when it comes to these tips. Okay, so tip number 1 is this: pay attention and monitor your credit score. Now, I know that there are financial gurus out there that say you don't need a credit score, don't worry about credit score, etc., etc., etc. The reality is this: you are going to need a healthy credit score when it comes to buying your house. Now, so many young people are oblivious about a credit score. Like, it's crazy. We learn about the planets in the solar system, which we really don't need to apply in real life, and we never learn how to pay our bills on time or write a budget, right? Okay, so if you are a first-time home buyer, a millennial, Generation Z, or pretty much any home buyer, it's very important that you monitor your credit score. The cool thing is that nowadays there are free apps out there such as Credit Karma that allow you to monitor your credit score. At the same time, your banks should have a section within the apps that allows you to access a credit score section where you can monitor your credit score. So it's very important that you are able to monitor your credit score very early on so that you can learn how to maintain a healthy credit score. Now, one of the best ways to maintain a healthy credit score is learning very early on how to budget your money. You don't need to get into debt to have a healthy credit score. You don't need to go make expensive purchases to have a healthy credit score. As a matter of fact, the last thing you want to do is get into debt so that you can work on your credit score. You don't gotta do those things. We're gonna be posting a video where we talk about things you could do to create and or improve your credit score so it's healthy. Nonetheless, one of the most important things is this: don't get into debt. Okay, that's the worst way you can work on your credit score, but you need a healthy credit score in order to be able to purchase a house. Now, personal finances and credit scores, they go hand in hand. So it's very important that you are conscious about your debt as well. You don't need to go into debt. Say no to credit cards very early on. It's incredible to see these statistics, how wild they are, that the average American literally lives on credit cards. And so at a very early age, I hope you're able to grasp the fact that you should stay away from debt, stay away from credit cards, and sit with someone you trust and work very early on your credit score. Now, if you are a millennial, you're in your mid 30s, in your early 30s, whatever age group you're at, and you need help with your credit score, send me an email. I can email you some resources and so on, or you can contact a lender you trust and have them walk you through your credit report and ask them to help you get on a plan so that you can get on the route towards home ownership. There are ways to improve your credit score, even if it's in, the lowest pits of the pits. It's possible to get it back up and get into a position where you can buy your house. Number 2, you have to make it a goal to get out of the renting cycle. Now, how do you do this? Once again, there's a quote that says, if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. And one of the biggest reasons why people stay stuck in the renting cycle is because they honestly just don't make it a goal to obtain home ownership, and they get stuck in the renting cycle. Can you imagine this, okay? Right now, in so many cities all across America, rent is at an all-time high. Let's say you're paying $1,000, which is actually pretty low nowadays, okay? $1,000 a month times 12 for the whole year, you're paying $12,000 for rent. When you pay rent, you're paying someone else's mortgage. Let's say I owned a house and I had renters in my house or in that house, okay? And then I had a mortgage. Every time that family and or person pays me rent, I'm able to pay off my mortgage. So this family ends up paying off the house for me. I don't gotta put a dime into that. Does that make sense? That's what's crazy about owning your house. You are your own renter per se, and you end up paying down the house you live in. Imagine paying $1,000 a month for rent. Every single year, you're paying $12,000. It takes you 9 years to pay over $100,000 to someone. Can you imagine if I own a house and someone pays off over $100,000 to a house I own? That's pretty incredible if I own the house. But imagine for the family or the person that has been paying that every single month. It's like they are literally not planning for the future. Like, it's amazing to see when people are able to pay off their homes and they're able to sell their homes later and or own the homes free and clear, and how much money they can collect every single month from rent that they can put in their pockets. It's pretty wild. So at a very young age, you should put it in your mind and you should set a goal. I'm not gonna be stuck in the rent cycle. There are seasons where I understand we have to rent. I rented before. There are seasons for that, but the end game should be home ownership always. And the most amazing thing is when young people buy their houses at 22, 23, 24, and it's awesome seeing the position they are putting themselves into as a plan for the future. You have to set a goal. You have to make it a goal. I am going to become a home owner. I'm gonna stay out of debt. I'm gonna work on my finances. I'm gonna save up money, and I'm gonna become a homeowner at a young age. If you are later in life, hey, it's never too late to start. One of the most powerful things you can do is to sit down with someone you trust that can help you walk through the process of home ownership. If you want some more detailed outline tips, shoot me an email. I'm here to help you. Really, I can email you some resources that'll help you get on a path towards home ownership. All right, tip number 3 is this. Understand that your first house is not gonna be your forever house. Now, I know how it goes. We get so excited about the reality that, hey, we are about to become homeowners, and all of a sudden, we want, everything to look like it does in the magazines. We want it to be like every fake show on HGTV, just picture perfect. The reality is that everybody wants gold at the price of silver. All of us want a Bentley at a Kia price. I think that makes sense, right? You know what I mean though, okay? Your first house is not gonna be your forever house. So make realistic goals and be flexible about things, okay? Everybody has a different price point, so understand what price point you're in the end goal is home ownership. The end goal is not to get your dream house when it comes to being a first-time home buyer. It's getting into the house, getting the feel of what the process looks like, and that becomes your first milestone. There are statistics that show us that the average family moves every 4 to 7 years. So most likely you'll end up either buying a second house, you'll either upgrade, and upgrade doesn't mean bigger, upgrade just means, different needs for the season, and or you'll probably sell that house and use the money you've made from your investment, from the house you owned, and be able to invest it into your next house. So be real with yourself, be understanding with yourself, and don't let it discourage you, but let it encourage you that you're about to step into homeownership for the first time. It's your first milestone, and it's a milestone that is gonna help you build for your future. Well, that wraps up episode 113 of the Steve Talks Real Estate Show. I hope this video encouraged you if you are a first-time home buyer. Hey, if you haven't done so, hit the subscribe button, like this video, and share it with the first-time home buyer that needs to hear these tips. With that said, keep sending in your questions, and I will do my best to keep on answering them. We'll see you next time.